Hey, this is YBR with BeamNG Drive, and today we're going to be taking a look at a map called Passo Stelvio. And Passo della Stelvio is a mountain pass in northern Italy at an elevation of 2,757 meters, which means absolutely nothing to me, but it also says it's 9,045 feet. It is the highest paid mountain pass in the Eastern Alps. As you can probably tell from that thumbnail, these roads can be a little bit crazy, but first I want to talk about the names of the locations. Normally I go to default and we start there, but we have Hotel Stelvia, nothing fancy there, somewhere in the middle of Tormonti Churns, under a non-existing tree. It's a long drive up, and then Franz, which is again pretty normal. So where are we going to actually start? At the hotel, so we could drive our way down. One of the first things you'll probably notice about this map is it feels like all the cars are driving in slow motion. That's because we're at such a high elevation, the engine output is noticeably reduced. In fact, on some vehicles, like the track version of the Ibishu Miramar, it can't even drive in this environment. It comes started and ready to go. But if you turn the engine off, you can't turn it back on. The engine locks up and then it just says engine broken and it's bright red and the car is dead. There's nothing you can do to fix that car, even though it looks perfect. It's completely broken. Thankfully though, a regular vehicle like the D-Series, it works fine. You can turn the engine on and off as many times as you want. That's because it's not a really high-strung race engine. This is a normal production vehicle where people would expect it to work in this kind of environment. Over here though, that's the finish line, so that's the end of the video. This video really flew by, didn't it? Oh wait, we just started. It's trying to trick me. One nice thing about this map though, is it does support the AI, but there is one thing you need to watch out for. Sometimes the AI can completely block the road because the roads can get really narrow and they can get really tight. And if the AI is driving something like the bus, the road is going to be completely blocked. Like these idiots here with the bus, I'm just going around them in the dirt because they're taking up both the lanes basically. Who would take a bus here? Why are you guys doing this? That's just what the AI does. Like, look at that dude in the front. He is taking a bus to an off-road section and he is actually doing amazingly. Like, I took this upper section because I figured I would have to get around him, but he's actually doing it. I did not expect this to happen just watching the AI barrel down this road. He is absolutely flying in this bus without a single care in the world. He's like cutting these corners so hard, breaking the bus up a little bit. He don't care. He's just going fast. Oh, now he's not. Ooh, I almost crashed into him. All right, got to back up. Anybody behind me? Yep, back up, back up, back up. The bus broke. We need to go around him. Come on, get out my way. Let's see. Can we go through the water? I mean, there's a bridge here for a reason, so probably not. Oh, I don't like this. No way. We're not going to do it with this truck, or at least we're not going to try. Instead, let's use something really beefy. Maximum off-road. Make this as easy as possible. Yes, I even went and locked the differentials and put it into low gear just for this. I ain't messing around. I'm going to get through this river no matter what. Going to take it nice and slow, easy and steady. We're kind of coming at a really steep angle. If we can move to the right a little bit, the angle reduces and it makes it a little bit easier to climb up it. Although apparently changing the angle is harder than you'd expect. All right, you know what? Just floor it then. Fine. If that's not going to work, we can just floor it up the hill. That works. Flooring it always works. And I feel bad for the bus. He was doing amazing. The only thing that stopped him was the stupid overhanging rocks on the bridge. And this bridge has a couple of victims as well, it looks like. One guy crashed into it and the other two just didn't know what to do. We can go around this guy, but this guy's in the middle of the road. Get out the way, you fool. Don't you hate people who just block the road like that? Makes you just want to take a shortcut, doesn't it? Just straight through the dirt. Don't even care about where the actual road is. Like, I call it a road and off-road because it's a dirt trail. So it's like you don't want to take your really nice supercar through here. But any regular car should be able to drive through this. Unless you're a bus. Buses are too long for these tight corners, I'm sorry. At least the ones on the bridge it is. Through here it'd probably be fine. But I haven't seen an AI bus now. It's all just regular cars, unfortunately. And I think we might need to go out of low gear. Yeah, so let's go ahead and pop this thing into high gear. And keep accelerating. And again, this car really does struggle in the high elevations. We are flooring it right now, just barely accelerating, but now we got buses in the way. You know how I said I haven't seen any buses? Well, now we have 2 buses in front of us. And what are they doing? One bus just overtook the other bus. Okay. Right. Well, let's overtake this bus then, so I can be the king of the road. Or not. There's a covert there. Go around the covert, and I'm flooring it still. This is just as fast as we can go in this environment with this vehicle. It's a rough situation. All right, just go around this corner. Everybody's crashed. I don't want to crash into them. But one thing we should eventually try out is an electric vehicle, because those should still have full performance, because the environment around them, more specifically the elevation, doesn't affect the way they drive. At least it doesn't nearly as much, I would assume. But this whole time I've been flooring it, and that's all it's got, man. That's all it's got. Up to about 50 miles per hour almost. And then we gotta slow down a little bit for the corner. Another dude who has crashed. Poor guy. Feel bad for him. Tighter corner coming up. We'll go ahead and take it regularly. Oh no, what are you doing? I was gonna be there. Okay, we're going around a little bit. Is that guy gonna crash into the bus? Oh, he cleared it. Oh, the crasher is me. I did not expect that. I thought they were gonna crash. I just gotta pay a little bit more attention, I guess. Instead of looking at the AI hoping they crash, I should pay more attention to where I'm going. Pretty good plan. I like that plan. We're gonna do that from now on. Oh goodness, there's another bus. Who put that bus there? This is just asking for trouble now, isn't it? Oh, please don't go to the left. Oh, thank goodness, he's going to the right. If the bus tried to go to the left, it would have been a disaster. Because over to the left is the main attraction. Why didn't we start with the main attraction? Because I wanted to get to that place to the left first, because this is a long, long road, and it's a long way back up. And this is where the AI can be a little bit troublesome. Some of these places can get really, really tight, and you got two AI cars on both sides. You can't really get by them that easily. Like right here, I can only squeeze by just barely, and up there, the AI can't do it. Like, they have gridlocked themselves because they refuse to go past each other, and now he's just made it worse. He has just made everything multiple times worse. There's an easy little solution right here. Whoop! I got an off-roader. Oh no, not quite the solution I was looking for. Close though. It was really close. And then just for fun, let's go ahead and drive this thing off of the edge of the mountain and watch it fall. Now there's a nice little convenient area we can use to do just that up the hill. And once again, it takes a while to get there because engine output is reduced. But here we are, and with this off-road vehicle, we can kind of just chuck it into the mountainside and see what happens. So we got ourselves into the air, and we are now rolling down the hill. And I expect this to take a while. We're probably going to be rolling for a good 30 seconds from start to finish, if not a little bit more. And we're getting a little bit of damage each time. There's a pretty big hit. So we got 3 wheels left. How many will survive? Up, 2 wheels left. Will those 2 survive? We're counting down, right? Yeah, still got 2. I was expecting to lose another one. There we go. 1 wheel left. Will this one stay on? The answer so far, it looks like it's going to be a yes, but we're still going. And I think it's been close to 30 seconds. We're still falling. And there's still more to go. If it takes me almost a whole minute to fall down the mountain, imagine how long it would take me to actually drive down it. Man, that's a long road. Come on, that last wheel's got to break off, right? Yeah, I guess not. That last wheel is going to stay on pretty good. And we are finally coming to a stop right in front of the river. And we can try driving up that, but first, here's a look at what remains of the poor hop. You can tell it used to be a car. Doesn't really look like one anymore. So we'll freshen it up, and now we're going to try driving up the river, which isn't too difficult. It actually works really well as a little off-road course you can drive. You don't need a vehicle like the Hopper for this. It is a little bit overkill, but you know what? Sometimes it's nice to be able to go through an off-road area and just breeze through it because you have a really good off-road vehicle instead of trying to use the worst vehicle possible like I do a lot of the time. Like, this is nice, isn't it? We just floor it and it's gonna work great. Little bit of a lean. That's all you gotta watch out for, really, is just don't hit any big rocks. And if it starts to lean over, make sure you counter steer to keep it level, and you're good. And this is where the water comes from. It comes from rocks. A lot of people don't know that, but rocks are made up of 90% water, and that's where water comes from. And if we wanted to, we could continue driving up along this thing, and we could go for quite a while, but at this point, it does get more difficult. Here, it's like an actual off-road area where you have to do some actual off-road driving, and a vehicle like this is very well suited to this, but right now, I think it's more fun to just drive along the river at high speed. And if we go downhill, oh yeah, we can get some high speed. Okay, 30 miles per hour isn't super high speed, but for going down a road like this, that's a high speed. as we are starting to bounce all over the place. Oh, save this, come on, yeah! Ha! Didn't even slow me down as I flipped that thing over. It just continues along like nothing even happened. And this goes for quite a while. We're not going to go all the way to the finish because I do want to cover the main road that we've been completely ignoring so far to look at everything else in the map. I don't know why this happened. I guess the main road is just really intimidating. That's why. So I think that's going to be enough of driving down the river. Now, we need to get back up to the top to drive down the road. And the easiest way to do that is to just reload the map, and then also the AI will be gone because as you saw, in this area, it's way too likely that they'll end up blocking the road. And just for fun, to drive down this, I'm going to get a kind of unusual vehicle. We're going to go with the stanced version of the Ibishu Pessima because this road is pretty bumpy. So I want a vehicle that can really feel the bumps. And we are going to feel every single one of them. You can see just how much texture there is to this road. Like, this road is not just a simple road that smoothly goes up the mountain. This thing actually has a bunch of bumps to it, which really gives it character. It makes it feel more like an actual road because you wouldn't expect a great road somewhere like this. You would expect a road that's usable, but it's not going to be super smooth because of the area you're working on. You're not going to get the best equipment up here. You're just going to have okay equipment, which is going to give you okay roads. Now, I've never driven on the real road this is based on, but I love the way it drives. I also love the way it flies. Doing a nice little roll and then sticking the landing. Almost stuck the landing. It lost most of its momentum there. I'll give you guys a quick look at what is left of this car. Cannot drive, but it can rev the engine. So now we'll go ahead and bring it back up to the road. And I want to drive around with this thing a little bit more before we replace it with another vehicle, just so you can see the bumps. And also, you can have some fun with this. If you really e-brake the corners and power through them like that, very enjoyable. The thing for me is, anytime you have corners this tight, they are very enjoyable to drive around for me because I love really tight corners. You can even do like a wall bump where you go a little too fast, tap the wall, and then accelerate off of it. Is that fast to go through the corner? No, but it looks fun and it gets you a little bit of damage every time. So eventually you'll have a completely ruined vehicle. Although that'll be a really long time if you're doing this correctly because these are really gentle bumps. Like a very gentle, just bump. Just enough to break a taillight and pop open the trunk. Not enough to affect the way the vehicle drives. You know, it would affect the way the vehicle drives is trying to do a wall ride around a corner, which is probably not going to work. No, it did not work. That has ruined it. On the other hand, it gives me a good excuse to get a new vehicle. So I'll bring this thing back, and then let's try out a drift vehicle. So how about we go with the drift version of the 200BX, and then we'll see if we can drift through here. The problem is we're going to have less power than this thing normally would, so I don't know how well it'll actually drift. Come on, power through it. It works. You can definitely tell it's a little bit down on power the way it went through that corner, but you can drift through these no problem with this car. The question is that what I want to do? The answer is sometimes, not this time. This time we're going for a little flight. I think that's really the best way to go through this area is you do a couple of turns and you do a little bit of a flight. You get a nice variety of things. You get to really enjoy the environment because you get to see not only the road, but the area around the road that can wreck your car up. Not wrecking enough where it won't drive. This thing is still moving. We're up to 50 miles per hour already. We got the downhill helping a bit, I'm sure, but that's impressive. Can it drift at all? Not really. I can't get it to drift too well. It doesn't want to really kick out. I think we only have like 1 1/4 wheels touching the ground. So I didn't get the kind of power output I expected to get the rear end to kick out. No, goodness. Did you guys just see that? It looked like the headlight just shot off of my vehicle. I didn't even crash anything. It just shot off. Let's do another tapper. And tap. That was really good. Just the lightest. Boop. And then you keep on driving. The first tap was not on purpose. Second one was. All right, so somewhere around here we might be able to see my headlight. There it is. There's the headlight. Just drove right over it. All right, now we're just going to go ahead and wreck this thing so I have an excuse to get a fresh one and actually do a little bit of drifting. Before I reset it, though, as always, here's what the outcome was. In the end, the poor car was ruined. As always, that's always what happens. They get ruined. And I guess we should go ahead and put the normal disclaimer down. I'm not that good at drifting. Don't expect anything special here. Especially with the car driving with the reduced power output, it just makes things a little bit more difficult. But I'll do the best I can. All right, we're drifting. That's great, except we're not at the corner yet. Got to power a little bit more and then go through the corner. Come on, power, power, power. I was all right. That's about the best I can expect for myself with the car, driving the way it is. I mean, thankfully, it's a turbocharged vehicle, and turbocharged vehicles lose less power at elevations compared to the non-turbocharged equivalents. Now, really good drifters, they can tap their bumpers. So, boom! I tapped my bumper. I'm a really good drifter now, right? No, not at all. I'm just adequate there, because that was actually pretty decent again. I think I got a handle of how to drive this thing. The nice thing is all the downhills really help you to have enough speed coming into the corners. Sometimes you have too much speed, and when that happens, you got the offshoots. You notice not every corner has an offshoot like that where you can just shoot off of the road. Just some of them. And when I see them, they're just so tempting to drive. You have to drive on them when you see them, it feels like. All right, so now, this thing, broken. What I want to do, though, is I want to try an electric vehicle here. Because it should feel the same as normal because it won't have the loss of power. So we're just going to do a little straight line acceleration test with this thing. And it does feel faster because we're not even on a significant downhill yet. Now we are. And we're able to get this thing up to 100 miles per hour. And if we keep flooring it, probably close to 110. Yeah, there's 110. And there it goes. So just as expected, the electric vehicle is able to get up to a great speed, which gives you a great crash. You did well. But the only problem is I'm more of a fan of the gas engines. You know, I like the noise, man. So we're going to swap to a gas-powered SBR4. It's going to be about the equivalent to what we were driving. It has 345 horsepower normally. This one has like 320. But with the loss of power, it's probably going to be a little bit slower than the electric, but that's okay. Because you know what? The stock SBR4 actually has under 200 horsepower if you get the baseline version, which is one of those things you don't really realize. Like, it looks like such a fancy and fast car, but it only got about 175 horsepower in its slowest form. That's nothing, man. That's less than some of the Ibishu economy cars. But dang, this thing does look so much better. And the way it drives, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this thing drives way better than any of the Ibishu economy cars. It just is a nice car to drive no matter how much power it has, because it's a good setup having the rear engine configuration. That covers the good driving portion of this vehicle. Now it's time for the fast driving portion, followed by a crash. We are now up to 110 miles per hour, just like we were with the electric one, a little bit faster, 120. And there it goes off on an adventure, all on its own, into the trees. Who knows what it'll find? Oh, it was a tree. Who would have guessed? There are trees in these trees. Here's a look at the damage. And I want to go back up to the top to look at some of the other things up there. So that means, once again, going to the map selector and resetting. First thing I wanted to do around here is look at the buildings, but first we need a car appropriate for that, like the drag version of the Moonhawk, because you need at least 1,000 horsepower to really admire what the buildings look like. First one right here is just kind of nice because it curves with the road. I thought that was pretty cool. We have another one over there, has stairs going to the roof, and then this one would be some sort of ski shop, because you can see in the window it has like skis and snowboards and a bicycle, so maybe just a generic sports shop actually. And then we got dirt road, which means flooring. That's the best way to get down dirt roads. See, it worked great. Got a hotel over there. Over to our left, we have one that I would say is a lodge, but if you read the signs, it's also just a hotel. It's Hotel P4. And also, you'll notice the things that look like electricity lines are not electricity lines. Those are lifts, so you can get to the top of the mountain if you wanted to. Or, if you're a maniac, you take your 1,000 horsepower drag vehicle and try to drive it to the top. Now, there are a couple of ways to get up to the top, but I just trashed my car. You barely noticed, but that bumper is badly damaged, so we're going to go ahead and bring it back and give it another go with a car that doesn't have any damage. Is it necessary? No, I just feel like having a fresh car because I felt it pulling a little bit, and in this terrain, that's not the best kind of look you want from your car. So over at the top of this road, we have yet another hotel, and quite possibly the most interesting looking one there is. I really like the bright orange wood that's used throughout. It's a really nice color of wood. Over here we have an area where you can do a 180 to spin your vehicle around. It could also be the donut zone if you want to do donuts as well. I'm okay right now. I don't need to do any donuts. I'll just make a mess of snow all over the place. And to prove that this is a hotel, there's the sign that says hotel. Really nice color wood on that thing, man. I like that a lot. Also, if you look above head, we have some power lines, and then we also have a ski lift directly in front of us. And the ski lift is pretty cool because you can watch the lift actually go into the building. and then it waits there to pick up more people, and then it goes to the top. It's really neat to just see it actually in action. It's one of those things I didn't expect it to actually work, but it does. Now, I want to get to the top of the ski lift. There's a couple of ways to do it. One of them is to make a huge mess trying to drive this thing, but then I can't see. So we're going to get something that's not affected by the height at all. We're going to go with the hero version of the bus, and this does not care what elevation you drive at, because it's using rocket. They could work in space if they needed to. Now, I want to try to get to the very top with only one bus, which means I have to be a little bit careful with using my thrust and conserve it till the very end. You can see there is a ski run there that you could do if you wanted to in a vehicle. Although it's not easy to do, because in a real ski run, if you clip a sign, that's okay. If you clip a sign there, they're very, very strong and solid, and you'll just break your car. So you have to take them a little extra wide just to be safe. We should be able to get to the top with just a little bit of boost to spare from these rockets. Come on, keep going. We're not at the top yet. It looks like we're close, but still one more hill left. And you can tell that's the end because that's where the ski lift ends. We have a little bit of rocket left. Come on, rocket. And we coast. Perfect. We made it up with exactly one bus worth of rockets. So there is the ski lift building up close. And then we have another hotel down below, which we could try to drive to. Now, how would you get to that hotel normally? You could use the ski lift, or you could use the dirt road that goes up to it. Now, the AI, they don't care that the road is dirt. They would just drive through that no problem. Me, I don't know if I can do it like the AI do it, man. They are insane with the buses. I'll give it a shot, though. Give it an honest shot. Let's try to get on the road first. That's step one. Step one accomplished. Now, step two is to drive along like the AI. And the AI, they drive it fast and hard. So we're going to drive it fast and hard. Try like e-brake around the corners. Come on, slide it. This is exactly how the AI drove it. Like a madman, but mostly keeping it together. This corner is a little bit more difficult because it doesn't look like we have the snow to hold us in. If we overshoot this, we would just fall off of the road, wouldn't we? Oh, yeah, we would. Bye, bus. You're gone. I don't need you anymore. You're out of rocket juice, so you're useless to me. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I do want to give you guys a final look at some of these roads from above because they are so long that I was not able to actually drive them in their entirety. So you can see this one goes all the way around and down and eventually back to the little village we were driving in earlier. And then the main road is absurdly long. Like, this must have took forever to recreate in BeamNG Drive, and it's really a beautiful road. Like, it is such a beautiful road to look at, and it's a great road to drive on as well. And you see it keeps on going and going and going and going. Go a little extra hotel down here, which strangely enough has a bus stop. How in the world is a bus gonna, I don't know. I'm assuming they have really small buses that are able to actually take the corners nice and tight, right? And then over here, it eventually has a dead end that we will get to. Over here. It just keeps going, man. There we go. So until next time, it's YBR. And remember, if you like or dislike this video, I will know. I can tell by the number of curves in the road. So do the right thing, and I'll see you next time. Hi, Moo Cow. You're a good Moo Cow. But he's a better one.